really excited about this session, Personalization, the Mind, Heart, and Soul of Customer Experience. I'm pleased to introduce to the stage Brian Walker, Chief Strategy Officer of Bloomreach, and Brian Hashemi, Head of Marketing and Analytics at UncommonGoods. Please join me in welcoming them.
Welcome to the Brian Squared Show. Now, we decided that you've all seen enough slides, so this is going to be an interpretive dance session. All right, few people laughed. Personalization, the mind, the heart, and the soul. I always thought it was heart, soul, mind, but at any rate, I mean, it's appropriate, right? I mean, we're using the mind, we're using analytics, we're using machine learning to try to drive personalization. It's the heart because it's all about trying to drive a meaningful relationship, right, that has real resonance with the customer. It's what we're really trying to achieve, something that can last over many years, right, as we acquire customers and turn them into loyal customers. But the reality is, of course, this has been exceptionally difficult. I started my career in e-commerce quite some time ago. You can see from the gray hairs, launching sites in the late 90s and early 2000s. And of course, we were focused on personalization really from the very, very beginning. But it's been exceptionally difficult. And of course, Gartner's, talked about that, a number of years ago. I think it was 2019, talking about the fact that 80% of marketers and merchants were going to abandon personalization initiatives because they failed to deliver on the expectations. A few years later, now, latest data, 63% are still talking about exceptionally difficult challenges to drive personalization and realize the benefits. And we have to ask ourselves why. In my view, it really boils down to four key reasons. One, lots of siloed applications, lots of different tools that you're using within the business, each one generating customer data, and you're trying to leverage to drive targeting and personalization. Number two, the teams are siloed, and they're not able to collaborate against all of those different tools that they're using in the business. Of course, we're hearing a lot about customer data and utilizing customer data platforms and solutions to get to single view of customer and to make that available to your marketers and your merchants to drive better contextual experiences. And sort of lastly, I think a hidden issue that does come up is content and the ability to drive content variations at scale so that you have things to test and you have things to personalize with. Four kind of key issues that are kind of fundamental to probably many of you in the business that are still challenging the execution of your personalization initiatives. But of course, we're not giving up. We really can't give up. What other tactic can deliver so much value to your business and, of course, deliver a better experience to your customer? There's a reason why we've been at this for so long, and I think it's important that we continue to really look for the solutions that are going to help deliver on these business cases and ultimately help you differentiate and deliver an experience to the customer that brings them back and drives repurchase rate, drives re-engagement with the brands across all the different categories that you're selling in. And to be honest, that's what we're all about at Bloomreach, which is enabling merchandising and marketing solutions with our product discovery solutions, enabling great content execution with our content management capability and content services, and then lastly, engaging the customer through a variety of different marketing channels, all sitting on top of a customer data platform. That's the end of my pitch, but let's get into some of the practical applications for what we can try to accomplish. And Brian Hashemi, thank you so much for joining me. We'll still have to work on our dance routine, I think, a little bit.
Need more choreography.
Brian, maybe we can start by you sharing a little bit more about UncommonGoods, and for those of you those of us here in the audience who are not as familiar, maybe you can share a little bit more.
Sure. So UncommonGoods is a retailer selling unique and wonderful products and experiences and trying to do so while having a positive impact on the community around us. So our customers come to us mainly when they need to find a gift. So whether that's a baby gift because their best friend just had a newborn, or an anniversary gift for their parents, or just coming, trying to find fun holiday gifts for everyone on their list, and trying to find something
Looking
that
for
they
inspiration.
can't find anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the business has changed a lot over the years. What are some of the different ways the business has evolved and changed, and kind of your approach and kind of strategy? How has that evolved?
Yeah, the business has changed a lot for sure, but some of our kind of like core principles haven't changed. So we've always prioritized sustainable, responsible growth over, really trying to make a quick buck. We've always valued our independence. So we haven't taken any outside funding since 2003, and I think that allows us to make long-term decisions without that outside pressure. We've just kind of been steadily layering on new product categories, new channels, new website features. So, for instance, some of the things that we've been working on the last couple of years, we layered on virtual experiences. So online cooking classes and crafting classes and mixology classes, things like that. It has all sorts of advantages.
Mixology, you're speaking my language.
Yeah. You should check it out. There's some good stuff on there. That has all sorts of benefits for our business model, and really helps set apart our product assortment. We've also had a lot of success with our loyalty program. So it's a fairly conventional structure to it. You pay $19 a year, you get free shipping. We give you like 2 $5 off credits to use throughout the year, and we double the charitable donation that we make on behalf of our customers. And so we've seen huge adoption of that. It's now driving a pretty large percentage of our business. Yeah.
Let's talk about personalization. We sort of talked about some of the challenges that many face, but what's really behind the effort and the focus? What is UncommonGoods looking to accomplish by focusing on personalization?
Yeah. So personalization, I think, is one of our key strategies to drive retention. Retention in the gifting world is really hard because people aren't buying gifts every week. Most people aren't buying gifts every month. So capturing as much of that wallet share as possible.
And being top of mind.
Yeah, exactly. So anything that we can do to anticipate our customers' needs, to be there, showing them what they want, when they want it, obviously, is really important for us. Part of that is just having cool stuff, having awesome products. But we also see personalization as like a key way to take that even further.
Yeah, and a lot of the serendipity that people have experienced right through shopping in the physical world, whether that's great boutiques or whatnot, it's hard to replicate that online. So you're using sort of first-party data collection in a way to help drive some serendipity for customers and help them kind of experience and understand what's out there, give them ideas, give them some inspiration. I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, our site is such that you don't come to us knowing what you want. Like, you're almost there to try to discover and find something that you didn't even know existed. So trying to predict what a customer is gonna want can be tricky.
What are some of the ways you're getting the data that helps you drive personalization?
Well, so the best way that we found is just to ask people for it. It seems so obvious, but back in the early days, when you were talking about how so many companies have abandoned their personalization efforts, we kind of went through that. We had our data science team create a recommendation algorithm to dynamically insert product picks into our emails. And it worked really well for like 2 weeks. And then after that, it just started to tank. And a lot of that was because it just got really stale really quickly, because our frequency is not that high. At any given time, most of our email list hasn't come to our site recently. They're not, hasn't placed a new purchase, and so we don't have a lot of fresh data to constantly be like refreshing these things. So we kind of, it didn't work that well for us to just do
Just
something
product
simple as
recommendations,
that. Yeah.
right?
And what worked a lot better for us was when we started to incent customers to share data with us. So one of the things that we do is, we give people $5 off their order if they share what recipient and occasion they're shopping for, and then set up an annual reminder for that event to start to create this kind of like marketing stream into the future. And the adoption of that has been huge. Like, literally, like hundreds of thousands of people have signed up to do that with us. And I think it's because they're getting value out of it.
First and foremost, a reminder.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, they're getting value in the form of a discount, and they realize that our marketing to them is going to be more relevant and more interesting the more data that they share with us. And it's a two-way street. It's really a win-win situation, because for us, we more than make up the cost of that discount through the value of the data that they're giving us.
And you're activating customers you've already acquired, right?
Yeah.
So you're reactivating customers, you're driving repeat purchase, and obviously you're looking for other occasions, other recipients that they need to be, inspired to shop for.
Yeah, and it builds over time. Once you set that reminder up, it comes every year, and then you set up more reminders, and it's just kind of a ongoing cycle.
What are some of the other things that you've been up to over the last, say, few years that you could really highlight as quick wins or easy things for others to look at to drive better results?
Yeah, I don't know if they're quick wins are easy. Nothing's easy. A lot of it is work, but in general, it's just we just found so much value in just explicitly asking customers to share data with us and being really clear about the value that they get in return. So we're also asking customers to tag recipients when they're saving an item to a wish list or adding a gift box to their order. We're working right now on just making that part of our normal checkout flow. And once we do that, we're also telling them that when they do that, they'll get access to this section of our site that we call Gift Center, which is just kind of like one place to go to view kind of all the recipients that you've saved with us, and all the items that you've saved for them, get recommendations for them, see like all of the
more like
upcoming
that.
Events, like all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just all about creating value for them. And customers will like giving you data if they like what you give them in return.
Right. And what's interesting about your loyalty program is they're actually, paying for that, right? Which means there's an explicit sort of value exchange that you're driving there where, yes, I'm paying to maybe get some benefit like free shipping, but even more importantly, I'm sharing data with you that you're going to then turn around and leverage to create a better experience.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, we study our loyalty program just in depth, and it's really important to us to understand it. And one of the things that we were concerned about was that the NPS of our loyalty program was pretty low. Now, those customers had a really high NPS for our company overall, but for like that, when we asked them the question about that program, they weren't that into it. And at first, we were like, man, we need to improve this. They don't like it. But then when we asked them, are you getting your money's worth out of it? It was like 95% said yes.
Interesting.
And then we kind of realized, like, well, this is like, you don't have to love a loyalty program for you to like feel like you're getting value out of it. You need to love the company, but like the loyalty program is just like a shipping deal, basically. Yeah.
What are some of the ways you're thinking about applying kind of personalization, and what kinds of things are you looking to test next?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different things that we can do. Some things that I'm really excited about. There's kind of the obvious things that we're doing. So, personalizing products and emails and on the homepage and on PDPs. We're trying to think more creatively about like other channels, how we can spread that to other channels and other applications, not just to create a cohesive experience for the customer, but also to make sure we're getting the biggest return out of that data. So we're doing things like using that information to feed into our catalog mailing models. We're trying to use it in our paid search bidding. And then I have this vision of our homepage. I mentioned that gift center that we have now, and it's still very early stages, but I eventually want our homepage to just be the gift center.
Right.
When you come in and you're logged in, you just immediately see, okay, like here are all my recipients, here's new product recommendations for all of them, here's my active offers, here's my upcoming gifting occasions. I think there's a lot we can do.
And how important is it to drive that consistency between the marketing you're sending the customer and that experience you're delivering to them as they click through?
Yeah, I mean, consistency in the sense that we know what you're shopping for, and we know the occasions that are important to you, and we're delivering relevant recommendations to you based on that knowledge. That's hugely important for us to do as many places as we can.
Anything else you'd highlight before we maybe throw it open for a couple questions?
Yeah, I mean, I'd just say that personalization is only as good as the data that you're getting to feed into that. So trying to be as creative as possible about how you capture that data, I think, is one of the most important things.
And obviously, we've spent many years trying to kind of, intuit meaning from all the different customer signal. And I think one of the biggest takeaways here is find meaningful ways to ask the customer to what is important to them, right? And then deliver value on the back end of that, and that can become a really powerful, virtuous cycle.
Yeah, that's one other thing I was going to say is that we spent a lot of time studying what is important to customers so that, when we're trying to offer them value in exchange for their data, like we're actually doing something that resonates. So we're constantly interviewing customers, surveying them, looking at NPS, looking at the drivers of loyalty. So yeah, I think it's really important you have that kind of understanding.
Yeah. I think it's really important that as we, adapt to an era without, third-party cookies, and where cost of customer acquisition just continues to go up, and certainly we're at this very important kind of interesting juncture. All having experienced the last, few years with tremendous digital growth, that we really leverage the data that we have, but also really engage with customers in that authentic way and ask them, right? And there's a lot of different tools you can do that, whether it's gift finders or other ways of collecting data from the customer that is essentially offered up as first-party, zero-party data that then you own, that enables you to tune the customer experience you're delivering on your site and obviously deliver relevant marketing to them in a way that actually delivers on what they want. And most of us experience the other flip side of that, which is relatively anonymous marketing that is pretty easy to ignore. And I think now we're at a point now where we need to leverage these platforms and really engage customers in a more holistic, authentic way, but be able to tie it across all those different channels. But as you said, it starts with customer data, and obviously having tools that enable collaboration between marketers, merchants, and developers, and then, of course, being able to test and optimize on all these different opportunities. We've got probably time for maybe one or two questions. Does anybody have anything they want to bring up and ask Brian? Either Brian? Yeah, how about right here in the middle? You might need to speak up so we can hear you. I'll repeat the question. Let me repeat the question. So the question was, when you're asking about what is the gift occasion and who are they gifting for, it's important maybe for in that specific personalization scenario, but how is it helping Uncommon Goods in a more aggregate level, kind of across the whole merchandising strategy?
Yeah, the one thing that comes to mind is that we have used that to look at individual products and seeing like, oh man, like everybody's buying this for their dad and we didn't even realize that. And then that like gives a stream of information to our merchants when we're creating like gift guides and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of power in that.
That's really interesting. Great. Well, I think we're about out of time. Thank you all for joining the session, and look forward to meeting you. And yes, Bloomreach has a booth. And by the way, we're doing headshots back there. If you're looking to update your LinkedIn professional profile or whatnot, I know I could probably use a new one looking at this picture of myself here. Yeah. I guess I should take advantage of that too. So at any rate, look forward to meeting you back there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian.